A few years ago, I was in the Himalayas with a group of musicians aiming to set a new world record for the highest land-based musical performance, the world's highest gig. None of us were particularly fit. It was a grueling and intense journey, starting with a flight from Kathmandu through the mountains into a tiny town called Lukla. The plane comes thundering in and stops about 5 meters away from this large stone wall, which is the only thing in between the plane and a great big cliff. We had a 10-day hike to Everest base camp ahead of us. We all had like guitars and things and heavy amplifiers. It wasn't easy, but we managed. We had a lot of help along the way. And about day 7 or day 8, Everest was clearly in sight. And we were walking through a village. We'd walked through a lot of villages, but this was different. According to our guides, this village had a monastery which was home to the oldest monk in Nepal. And this oldest monk in Nepal had heard of us and our journey and wanted to offer us his blessing. And when we found out about this, we were very excited. I was very excited. These monasteries, you see them, you know, they're always far away on these, you know, crazy hills or you know, right next to a cliff. You've seen the photos of them. And we'd walked past a few, but we hadn't been inside any. And this would have been a really unique experience because not only was it my first time in a Nepalese monastery, but it was the oldest monk in Nepal. So that's definitely one for the grandkids, and there's no way I was missing this chance to meet this man. So we walked for about a half hour. We got to the monastery and there were 2 grand doors, but no one was home. No one answered when we knocked. Apparently there were side doors. We went around there. Once again, no one answering. So we were wondering what to do with ourselves when someone from behind us yelled. And we spun around and we saw this fellow in his 60s wearing a baseball cap and trainers, 7 days of beardy stubble on his face, probably the caretaker. Through our guide, we asked him if he knew where the monk was. And with a chuckle, he replied, "You're looking at him. It's me." This was the monk, the oldest in Nepal, apparently. Though you'd never guess to look at him. He looked about 60, and with his baseball cap and trainers, he didn't even look like a monk. Yet he bounced up the stairs and opened the door and let us all in. And so setting foot inside the monastery, it wasn't quite as grand as I had imagined. There was a large altar and it was, you know, it was a sacred space. And he grabbed a robe from somewhere, threw it on, and began to bless us one by one, handing us these beautiful silk-looking scarves. And after the ceremony, one of us made the comment that this man looked amazing for his age. Not that we knew exactly how old he was, we just knew he was the oldest monk in Nepal. And when this was translated to him, he smiled knowingly and walked across the room to a small door and opened it, and almost sneakily beckoned over to us as though to join him in this next room. So we walked through into this room which was next to the altar, and that's when things got weird. I was not expecting this. It looked something like a mad scientist's laboratory in there. There were wooden tables, and upon these sat vials in a case, and inside these vials was a strange white liquid which was actually bubbling out of the vials, and it smelt not bad but incredibly strong. What was going on? The monk explained that he had a secret elixir and he wanted to share it with us. Now, I wasn't keen on this at all. I didn't know what the stuff was. It smelt more than vaguely alcoholic, and someone mentioned that it might be something similar to sake, the potent rice wine. So yeah, basically we were standing in a distillery. The oldest monk in Nepal was a moonshiner, brewing his spirits right next door to the religious altar of his monastery. He only had a couple of cups, so we had to share, and no one else was backing down, so I didn't either. I stood up and I took a swig, and the monk took great entertainment in the various faces we pulled one by one as we sampled whatever it was. And he told us that this is what he drank every day. Now, of course, I couldn't comment on any potential health benefits to whatever this drink was, if it had any at all. And the monk never did tell us in words what the secret to his long life and great years was. However, he didn't need to. His mischievous, boyish spirit was likely the key to his long life. That and probably years of meditation at high altitude, which I presume he did when he wasn't busy having fun with Westerners. Whether or not this monk is still with us on the earth, I couldn't say. But if you were to tell me that he was still having fun, running around sipping his wine, I'd believe it. Now this video shed some light on the phenomenon that might be at play here, but before you go, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and stay young at heart.